Hello everyone, this is Alien Reddit Story, where I tell alien stories off of Reddit. I'll leave a link for the story in the description. Let's just get into it. I call my experience a flubduction because I believe I was able to prevent it from happening. Thus the aliens flubbed my abduction. That's kind of hilarious. This is my true experience. I use initials for the names of my now ex-husband, P, and for my son, G. So that's P for ex-husband and G for son. In the spring of 1981, I was married to P, and our infant son, G, was about to be 4 months old. We lived in a second-floor, 2-bedroom apartment in suburb of Chicago. We had recently transferred G to his own bedroom and crib from a cradle that was still in the master bedroom. That night, P was asleep beside me when I awoke in the middle of the night, aware that I was being levitated above my bed. I stopped rising about 2 feet above the bed. I knew something or some entities had raised my body towards the ceiling. I sensed and then saw 4 short, about 3 feet tall, gray-colored beings with large, dark eyes next to my side of the bed on my left. I got the impression they were male. I felt it was their hands that had raised me above the bed, although without actually physically touching me. There was a very, very bright light shining through my bedroom window. I knew there was a lamppost in the parking lot below, so I thought at first I'd neglected to pull down the shade and close the bedroom curtains. I was quite awake now and realized my predicament. I was floating above my bed, but I could not move the majority of my body. It was as if I were paralyzed. I could turn my head and look around and clearly make out details of my bedroom, and I could hear P snoring gently on the bed below to my right. I started to panic and try to alert P to wake him. I discovered I could not make a sound. My throat didn't work. I was immediately concerned for my little son's safety, but I could see from my position that there was no activity in his room. I assumed he was safe and asleep. I glanced at the red LED numbers on my alarm clock. It was 3:30 a.m. I could see the texture of the paint on the wall beside my head and the texture of the fake wood closet doors, the cradle beneath the window. Those images became an anchor in reality for me. I knew I was wide awake because I could see those things so clearly. I began to get the message that I was going to be moved toward the bright light, which was beginning to glow even brighter. I mentally refused to go, shaking my head violently in that refusal. I feared that if I were dreaming, I did not want to accidentally go through the window and end up dead in the parking lot below. The thought that I must go forward toward the light and window came up upon my mind. I refused again. I repeatedly thought, I'm not going there. I tried to wiggle out of my bondage as if I felt my body being tilted like Frankenstein's monster on his gurney to a 45-degree angle facing the window. Oh, they try to roll you out the window. Oh my God, but I digress. After a few minutes struggle like this, I got the feeling that I had won the argument. I do not recall going into the light. I remember waking up moments later on the bed. I got up and walked to the window. The shade was pulled down and the drapes were closed. The lamp was on in the parking lot, but it was not nearly as bright as the light I'd seen. My son and husband were both soundly asleep. Of course, I'd heard of alien abductions then, and I wondered what had happened to me. It was a very real experience, especially my awareness of my physical surroundings of my room. I had been awake. My husband, of course, never sensed anything was going on at the time. I don't have any bad memories of actually being abducted, and I don't wish to dredge up any either. I'm not sure why I had to be coaxed to go towards the light, or why I thought I had the right to refuse to do so. If they had me under control, they could have simply done what they wanted with me. I'm comfortable with the idea that I was almost abducted, and willing to leave it at that. Nothing like that happened to me before or since. Whoa. You really got flubducted. You do raise a really interesting question. Why would they give you a choice? You know, the more I get into these stories, even the less I understand. There just seems to be no rhyme or reason. It's like it's like we're almost looking into 4D or something. I can't see the other side, no matter how hard I try. Ma'am, I hope your ex-husband and your son and you are all doing fantastic now. And I truly hope you never get revisited, because I don't know if I could ever sleep again if I recall all of that right there. That is. And plus your child was there? My goodness. I'm glad you guys made it this far in the story. If you did, thank you. I really appreciate the time you spent with me. And if you feel to hit that alien subscribe button, or that Reddit like button, or that stories alarm button, bell button, to see what else we got going, that would really, really help me. I am trying to grow this channel, and if you don't worry about it. Not everything is about numbers on a screen, alright? I'm just very, very happy that you guys spent a little bit of time. I left my email in the description, so if you guys have any stories you want to send, feel free to. And I'll see you next time on Alien Reddit Stories.